Hello, everyone. This is Rishav,
And welcome back to ILMS Academy.
where we break down important topics that matter. In today's episode, we are discussing a pivotal piece of legislation in India: the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition, and Redressal Act 2013, commonly known as the POSH Act. Specifically, we'll take a slightly significant question to tackle. Why does this law exclusively protect women? Is there a need for it to be gender neutral? Stick around as we explore the history, the reasoning, the debate surrounding this landmark legislation, and possible ways forward for inclusivity.
Hello guys, this is Rishabh and you are watching Institute of Legal and Management Studies, ILMS Academy, India's premier legal and management education portal.
Background of the POSH Act. To understand the POSH Act's gender specific focus, let's rewind to its origin. The Act is rooted in the Vishaka Guidelines introduced by the Supreme Court of India in 1997. These guidelines emerged after Vishaka and others versus State of Rajasthan case, which involved the horrific gang rape of Bhavani Devi, a social worker attempting to stop child marriages in her village. This case revealed the glaring absence of workplace protections for women, compelling the judiciary to issue the Vishaka Guidelines as a temporary framework for addressing sexual harassment until former legislation was passed. The POSH Act, enacted in 2013, institutionalized these guidelines and built a robust mechanism to combat workplace sexual harassment faced by women. Key provisions of the POSH Act. The POSH Act is comprehensive and mandates the following: prevention. Employers are required to create a safer working environment and raise awareness about sexual harassment. Prohibition explicitly forbids acts of sexual harassment at the workplace. Redressal establishes internal complaints committee ICCs to address complaints in organizations with 10 or more employees. But the act explicitly states that it is designed to protect women from harassment, which brings us to the core of our discussion. Why does the POSH Act protect only women? The gender specific nature of the POSH Act is deliberate and stems from historical, cultural, and statistical contexts. Let us break this down. Historical context: India's workplace structures, much like its societal framework, have traditionally been patriarchal. For decades, women faced systemic discrimination, which indicates the sexual harassment often is ignored or dismissed. The POSH Act aimed to level the playing field, recognizing that women were disproportionately vulnerable in professional settings. Statistical evidence: the data from various studies and reports consistently highlight that women are more likely than men to face harassment at work. For example, a 2020 study by the Indian National Bar Association revealed that over 70% of working women had experienced some form of workplace harassment. This gender disparity underscored the need for targeted legal protection. Legal precedents, the Vishaka Guidelines, which served as the foundation for the POSH Acts, were formulated in response to specific cases of harassment against women. The focus on women's protection continued as the POSH Act evolved from these guidelines. Cultural challenges: in many cases, societal stigma prevents women from speaking about harassment. Laws like the POSH Act were designed not just as legal instruments, but as social safeguards, encouraging women to report incidents without fear of judgment or retaliation. Criticism of the gender specific nature: while the POSH Act has been a milestone in protecting women's rights, it has faced criticism for its exclusive approach. Let us explore the key arguments against the gender specific framework. Men and other genders as victims. Sexual harassment is not exclusive to women. Men, non binary individuals, and members of the LGBTQIA plus community can also experience harassment. By focusing solely on women, the Act leaves these groups without adequate legal resources. Equality before the law. Article 14 of the Indian Constitution guarantees equality before the law. Critics argue that gender specific laws contradict this principle by provoking protections to one group while excluding others. Changing workplace dynamics. As workplaces become more diverse and inclusive, harassment scenarios are no longer confined to traditional gender roles. A gender neutral approach would align better with contemporary workplace realities. Societal implications of gender specific laws. Gender specific laws like the POSH Act can reinforce traditional stereotypes by framing women as primary victims and men as potential aggressors. Such legislation may inadvertently perpetuate outdated notions about gender roles. This framework can hinder genuine efforts to address the root causes of harassment, such as power imbalances and toxic workplace cultures, which affect individuals across all gender identities. Moreover, the exclusion of men and other genders from the POSH Act can result in underreporting of harassment cases among these groups. Without adequate legal protections, individuals may feel discouraged from speaking up, further perpetuating a cycle of silence and inaction. Calls for gender neutral amendments. In recent years, there has been a growing demand to amend the POSH Act to make it gender neutral. Advocates for this change point out that several countries, such as the US, Canada, and the UK, have adopted inclusive harassment laws that protect individuals regardless of the gender. One significant development occurred in 2023 when a petition was filed in the Supreme Court of India seeking to make the POSH Act gender neutral. However, the court rejected the plea, citing that the historical and societal context that necessitate women specific protections. The path forward. Acknowledging all victims. While the POSH Act's focus on women remains crucial, there is a strong sense for parallel legislations or amendments that address harassments faced by other genders. This approach would ensure inclusivity without diluting the protections for women. Awareness and training. Organizations should invest in awareness programs that emphasize respect and inclusion for all employees, irrespective of their gender. Training sessions that address unconscious biases and foster open dialogue can also play a pivotal role in reshaping workplace cultures. Policy innovations. Employers can go beyond legal mandates to create gender neutral workplace policies that addresses harassment comprehensively. By adopting proactive measures such as anonymous reporting mechanisms and robust grievance redressal systems, organizations can build safer and more inclusive environments. Engaging stakeholders. Policymakers, legal experts, and advocacy groups should collaborate to develop a framework that balances the unique challenges faced by women with a broader need for inclusivity. Public consultations and stakeholder engagement can ensure that the new laws or amendments reflect the diverse realities of modern workplaces. The POSH Act 2013 has been a game changer in protecting women from workplace sexual harassment in India. However, as societal norms and workplace dynamics evolve, it is essential to revisit such laws to ensure they reflect contemporary realities. The journey towards gender neutral protection may be complex, but it is a necessary step towards creating truly inclusive workplaces. In the meantime, it is important to continue strengthening the existing framework of the POSH Act while advocating for complementary legislation that protects all individuals. A holistic approach can ensure that everyone, regardless of gender, feels safe, valued, and empowered at work. What are your thoughts on this topic? Should the POSH Act be amended to include genders, or do you believe its current focus is justified? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought provoking discussions. Until next time, stay informed and stay empowered.
Visit ILMS Academy for various courses from contract drafting, RTI, labor law, GST, and more. Get certified to enhance employability.